Yo, guys, welcome to another episode of the AniMates podcast. It's your boy Kevin,
Big Murks,
TJ.
All right, so let's get straight into it. Guys, this week I managed to finally catch up on Boku no Hero.
Hey.
So
To the end?
To the end, bro.
Oh, it's
And it's 30.
You know what? Because he's finished, he's been banging out the episodes.
Yeah, bro, because I clocked, like, if we want to talk about it properly, we all need to be at a certain level to actually fully indulge. You feel me? So we'll just be holding back certain conversations, not be able to go full in if other people on different wavelengths, innit? So,
makes
but
sense.
yeah, man, just Boku no Hero. Obviously, Power's out as well. Just been watching that as well. You remember watching it?
Apparently, the last episode was today's episode was wild.
It was. But everyone's saying it's a bit dead. Like, even Floyd Mayweather came out saying, like, Power's whack this season.
Whack. Power's
But
whack.
I feel like it's still got mad potential, to be honest with you.
You ain't watched it yet?
No, I'm basically still on season 4. Because, like, I've been on that whole trying to watch it all in one season, then I have everything fresh, the arguments fresh from season 4 into season 5, and try to do the nitpicking, but that didn't really work out too much.
I feel you. So what season you're on now?
Season 4.
What were you on now? 6?
Okay.
We're
No,
only on
1-5.
five.
1-5.
Yeah.
So only one behind.
Yeah, Power needs to end soon, fam. I can't lie.
But I think I was saying before, like, the only way Power could turn out like Game of Thrones or one of the best shows ever is if we love Tariq, innit? If they make the viewers love Tariq, innit? That's different. That's different type of writing.
Yeah,
man.
because you've been screaming that plot twist for a minute. You're saying if
man.
just switch, because everyone hates him. They switch it.
But don't you think he's that deep in now that it's impossible to hate him? I mean, it's possible to like him.
Nah, man.
But that's the best thing about writing. Like, if you get that deep that there's no turning back, and the writers flip it on you, and you're like, shit, type thing. I think that'd be amazing.
Word.
Yeah.
Nah,
But obviously, there's things that I haven't seen throughout season 4 and 5 that kind of really showed the hate for Tariq, innit? But I just imagine that, right, niggas actually hate this guy.
Bro, it's a thing where you can act in another film and you'll be throwing shit at your TV,
you still be angry.
Because how I try to think of it is like, you know, Joffrey from Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Was there anything he can do, for you to love him?
No.
And it might be the same
He even
energy with
made you
Tariq.
hate his little brother. Deep, and that's
His brother was cool, man. Like,
I hated that.
No, by association, you hate his little brother.
When he jumped out,
Not gonna
that
lie,
building,
yeah,
I was like,
not gonna lie. If you can produce that, then your other sport are
it's
cancelled
mad.
as well. I don't
Yeah,
want to
real.
hear it. I don't want to hear it.
Fam, when Tariq started acting up, I started hating Reina, and then I was just like, you
hatred by association,
Yeah,
you know. Mad.
That's crazy. So Power's going downhill, bro.
Word,
I'm
word.
looking like Naruto, boy.
More like One Piece, Q.
Man said that little shot in there.
What have I been watching though? I'll be real. My watching stuff has been slow. I can't lie. I've been banging out Fortnite. I don't know why. The new Call of Duty beta came out, so because COD 4 is coming out a month earlier, October, innit? So I just jumped on that for a little bit. And yeah, man, I've just been a bit on the games, man.
Okay.
What about you, TJ?
I don't know. I haven't been really watching anything. Like, I guess Attack on Titan. Still moving. The start of the Premier League season was here.
Come on.
But, we don't really want to talk about that too much. We're on to the second week, so
Word.
it's all good. Liverpool doing well, Man City doing well.
Shout out to Arsenal and that.
Oh, fuck off, man.
A lie. We don't really.
The Gunners.
Fam, it's all long. It's a bit of a sticky one, but it's a new manager, and new season. So
I was actually deep in here. Do you feel like anime is a winter thing? Or like an autumn winter thing?
yeah, it gets a bit.
I don't think so. I think
I
it's
don't think
it's all
summer
year
thing,
round
though.
at
No,
times.
it's year round.
all
at
year,
times.
man.
No, but I meant in
Depends on
terms
what comes
of
out.
really indulging in anime. Do you think that's more of a summer?
Yeah,
winter
because
and
you're
autumn
more
thing?
in winter.
Do you know what I
winter.
mean? Yeah.
So you have you
But I
watch
feel
more
like with
TV.
summer, it's more you're doing what you're watching whatever's kind of relevant to the summer. So
Or
for example,
catching up.
It was like Love Island, Power, and all of that good stuff. But when it's winter, it's like you're really looking at like binging anime, certain anime. That's what I found.
Yeah.
Nah, I hate it still.
Did anyone see the trailer for One Punch Man?
No, I didn't
Season
still.
2.
No. I hope we get one episode though.
Yeah, I hope we're getting one episode now, and then we'll get the rest of the episodes in 2020.
Yeah, so it's a bit
Swear.
tight.
But the trailer said 2019.
No, I think it's 2020, man. Or right at the end of 2019.
Hold on.
That's a
Either
bit
way.
mad still.
Yeah.
So why do you think they could wait that long? Like
Apparently
it's not
they said like
No, it says
They want-
April 2019.
yeah, I told you. Yeah, it
Right.
said
Okay.
2019. But I saw that source as well.
Yeah, the 2020
But
one.
yeah, but apparently the reason that they're gonna push it back is because they want the quality the episodes to be top notch. Yeah.
Oh, I heard it because they changed studio. And
Yeah,
therefore
exactly.
they want it.
So
Yeah,
therefore they want the quality
Yeah, cool.
to be
be the same.
Word.
Oh, fair
All right,
enough
guys. So
then.
obviously we've been talking for a minute, innit? And I think it's about time we introduce the fourth member of the AniMates podcast.
The Yonko.
Obviously, the four
last
you get
remaining
me.
Yonko.
For real.
I don't know if I can claim Yonko, but yeah, man's in the
we
building.
went out to the Blue Sea, and then we picked up a new crew member.
For
Hey.
real. Big mom and that.
Nakama.
Can you not?
Yeah, so obviously introduce yourself.
So, hi, my name's Adiola. For those of you who don't know me, I go to Aston University. I study law. Do love the anime. I'm not really up to date like these lot with One Piece. They're dying on that hill. I don't know about that still. But yeah, anime's a bit of a passion. It's
Right,
been about for a while.
I feel like you're gonna get some shots coming your way, on your Twitter, you
100.
just
Listen,
give out all your socials.
Listen,
all
come
you
for
One Piece
me.
heads, yeah. I beg you, come for her.
come
please.
for me with this One Piece thing. I think I'm further into Detective Conan Case Closed than I am with One Piece. Not gonna lie.
It's mad.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie.
Detective Conan is long.
So is One Piece.
Bro,
Yeah, true.
I
I
started
will
watching
be,
it, I
I
hated
will
it,
be
bro. Yeah.
middle
How you
aged
not oppose therefore?
and have all of my grandchildren
Yeah.
coming out
Yeah.
before One Piece is finished. I swear. Will they ever find the One Piece?
No,
Cool.
what on 70%?
Nah,
Nah.
man. As
60,
much
80,
as much
80.
as they want you to believe it's 70%, it's not.
Nah, it's
It's
not.
not,
But
man,
what
it's
have you
not.
been watching recently? Anime recently, or just normal TV shows? Like what have you been doing recently?
It's been a bit of a mix. Like honestly, exam season was a
Ah.
bit like that part where you don't know if you're gonna pass, but you're
Oh,
praying
them
to
ones.
God. So you have to put in like 110%, as in you're not sleeping,
Them
you're
ones.
eating just basic rice, no stew, no plantain, just basic rice. It got to that point where I didn't have time.
Mm.
So
That's real, man.
yeah, right now I'm in maintenance, like catching up.
Catch up and everything.
I say I'm catching up on all the rest of the stuff, but low key, when you're like bored and
Yeah,
you
yeah.
get to the trash shoujo section
Mm.
and you just start watching them.
What's
Yeah.
your top priority right now to catch up on?
I'm waiting for Attack on Titan to get to 5 episodes of the new season, and then I'm just gonna sit down
Sit
and
down and
binge through 5
Makes
episodes.
Do you
sense.
feel like you're gonna analyze Attack on Titan, like really get into it?
Yeah, because I don't like waiting for like the next episode to come out. That was the one thing that pissed me off with Game of Thrones, waiting like the
Oh,
distance
The distance.
between episodes.
Yeah,
I want
yeah.
like a good solid 5 episodes at the beginning of the season, and then
Yeah,
to just
yeah.
watch
But
it straight through.
obviously
and
Game of Thrones
compare.
was weekly, right?
I
So as an
know.
anime head, you should be ready for that. You should know.
You're used to
No,
that,
yeah.
I know this,
Every
but like
week.
with Game of Thrones, like life got in the way in it, so I tended to watch it like every 2 weeks, and then I'd have to
Right.
avoid the whole world that week in
Yeah,
between
yeah,
because
yeah.
all
But
the
this is-
spoiler
I don't think you
things
could do that in the
that
season
was
coming
so
up,
bad.
Yeah, you can't do that.
You
I
can't
feel like
do that.
there's something about watching something weekly that makes the whole show better. Like, or your memory of watching it
Yeah,
better.
yeah.
'Cause
Yeah.
I remember watching One Piece when it was coming out, episode by episode, and I was thinking, oh my days, it's the most amazing thing I've watched. More because of the conversations outside of what I was
Yeah.
watching. And that's why I never really had the appreciation for Naruto. Because if I watched Naruto week after week as it was coming out, I think I would have loved it. It would have been the best anime. Or best manga.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
but
know.
it is. That's the thing.
Oh, this guy.
But how did you get into anime, Adiola? How
So
did it start for you?
I think I must have been like, I was young, like 6, 7. We moved to like America, just packed up, left because my dad's job left the country in it, and like I think this was just after my little brother was born. I just remember like me, my older sister, my little sister carrying my little brother like the small tiny egg that he was, and all of us just sat in front of this TV like watching Yu-Gi-Oh. Like we died on that show. Like we forced them to drive us back at a specific time just so that we could get snacks and sit down just as the episode was coming on, watching Yu-Gi-Oh. I think it was like Jackie Chan Adventures and Shaolin Showdown and all of that.
Shaolin Showdown.
Good old days.
Ah,
Good
man,
old days.
that's a
Listen,
throwback. That's a
listen.
throwback.
You know when you watch that over again, yeah, it's more serious than it was back then. Like,
Do you know
Yeah.
the remake of Shaolin Showdown broke my heart. Like why they had to remake the
there's
show.
a remake.
Like the season 2, the remake, whatever it was, it wasn't the same. Like it wasn't
That's
the same.
basically Yu-Gi-Oh!
Bruh.
GT, innit?
Listen. This is what grinds my gears, yeah. Like if you have a good formula, I feel like you need to quit while you're ahead, because a lot of these people they're trying to make money,
One
they're trying to
Piece.
take
100. I agree. I feel like that resonated with me so much. I feel like if you've got a plan, you see it through, then just try cut short there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Although money is good and everything, but if you're ahead of the game, Just, do you know what I mean? Just come out, man. Just come out.
He disagrees because that's what One Piece is doing.
Oh, this guy One
I feel
Piece.
like there's, for example, if I could get as much Shaman King as they could give me, because at that time, that was my go-to. That was my weekly thing. So if you say my objective is One Punch Man weekly, One Punch Man 10 episodes, I have nothing to indulge in after 10 episodes. What if it's okay, let's make more money by stretching this out, regardless of it if it's good or not. I'm still able to watch it, have conversation about it, and do you know what I mean? Just enjoy watching.
If it's not as good, there's no point. It's like Transformers. You got bored after Transformers 3 because
that's a good
the
argument.
plot was
Fast
over.
and Furious to some extent as
That's a
well.
good argument, but what I'm saying is, if there's no Hollywood film, there's nothing to watch, and that's my argument. It's at least there's something to watch. So, for example, I can't watch I don't want to say there's dead animes. There's just animes that's not for me. So I'd rather have lots of Shonen Jump available, even if it's not of the caliber of One Piece. I could settle for Naruto, but like just Shaolin Jump in general. That's a Shaolin Jump. Shonen. But all you man talk about Shaolin, all this Shonen Jump. As long as it's Shonen Jump, you know what I mean? I feel like I could get into it. What is Kuroko no Basket? Do you know what that falls under?
Sports.
It's not
Sports
shonen.
anime.
It's not shonen.
So I guess sports, Shonen Jump, that's my go-to. But in terms of Yu-Gi-Oh, they should have done that next level of Yu-Gi-Oh. They could have stopped
GX
there.
and all the rest of that.
And all that gaff. They could have stopped there. But if they kept normal Yu-Gi-Oh going.
Nah, I feel like this is the thing though. Like by the time they'd finished the show, they'd achieved like every possible objective. You'd even had that character arc where he like failed as a person, fucking finally, because friendship forever does not work in real life. We all knew this even at like 7. So when that happened in the show, I was kind of like, yes, thank you. But they achieved everything they had to achieve. And what did they do? They moved on to the next generation.
Makes sense. I feel like execute perfectly. It makes sense.
The ending was executed perfectly. If you wanted more, that's what the movies were for.
It's true. It's true. So what's your favorite anime? Let's get that out of the way. What's the number one anime for you?
I don't feel like, I feel like I have like at least 4 that share that spot.
Okay.
Like for different reasons. Like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure has to be one of my top.
Explain
because
that.
I didn't watch it like from the beginning, like season 1, because it's split into like loads of different arcs. Some characters are in some arcs, some aren't. So the first arc is Phantom Blood. I didn't watch it from Phantom Blood because that wasn't the first one that came up on my Crunchyroll when I first.
You subscribed to Crunchyroll?
Yeah, of course. I got the.
Swear.
Yeah,
Wait, you pay?
You're a real anime head, boy.
No, because honestly,
pay?
Yeah.
Shit.
What? No.
Yeah.
Like, I
Shout
got
out to you, Crunchyroll, if you're listening.
I
you
got
need a badge or
Crunchyroll
something.
before
They
I
need to
got
send you a
Netflix
badge.
because I knew what I was gonna go to more on my phone.
Yeah.
If I want TV shows, I have a million links for that, man. But anime, they're slowly but surely like cutting off the good links. Do you know what I mean?
True.
So I wanted to make sure that
You
I
gonna
had
shout
somewhere.
out Crunchyroll? Like, are they saying like that? Are they worth the subscription?
I feel like if it's important to you, like you go out and you make time or you make the money and put what's down is necessary for it. So yeah, it's worth it to me.
Shout
I
out
don't know if it'd be
Crunchyroll.
worth it.
No free sponsors here.
This is now sponsored
Crunchyroll,
content. This
you
is
know
now
the
sponsored
email
content.
animatestv@gmail.com.
No,
Once
if
you
you
hit
want to
us up
sponsor
in
me,
it.
fam, hit me up. You know
Hit
where
them
the
up,
email is. You know where the account is.
Oh,
Just
that's
roll
crazy.
through with it. But honestly, it's worth it to me.
Word.
But like the first thing that hit me like from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure was Stardust Crusaders. I started watching it. Then I went back and watched season 1. It was that good to me that it got me to go back and watch
crazy.
season
I
1.
feel like that's with all animes. Like you always see something that happens in the future, and you're always like, right, like you're so confused, you're so puzzled. You're like, how did I get there? And it makes you want to go back.
Exactly.
Cool.
If an anime doesn't like hit you like that, I find it very hard to get into TV shows and like just things in general that don't get me in. Like somewhere, if it doesn't get me in the first 30 minutes, I'm not interested.
Right.
Like Breaking Bad, it was kind of hard for me to get into it.
I think it was easy for me for Breaking Bad because of the hype that everyone's like, oh, you have to watch it,
That kind of put me off, not gonna
is
lie.
it?
Yeah.
But that's the only reason I'm watching Game of Thrones now.
Nah, I feel like I had to watch it before I got into it. The hype kind of was like, oh, but what if all these people are just chatting shit, and then I watch it and I'm the one person who doesn't like it. Now I've got to listen to all these people who it's all long for me. So I'd rather just watch it and judge it for myself and then decide if I like it or not.
I like the hype because I feel like that's why we have like anime starter packs. Do you know what I mean? It's like if you want to start anime, like
Low key.
Attack on Titan type thing, do
My
you know what I
little
mean?
sister dies on Death Note, man.
oh wow.
Yeah, definitely was actually
It's
amazing.
one of those ones
It's
that
amazing.
like I thought once you say start anime, watch this. It's like okay, this guy seems like a reliable guy. Or this girl seems like a reliable girl. I'm able to trust her word. It must be decent type thing, and that gives it that extra. I hope it's good. Like I'm looking out for stuff that's really good about the anime, which makes it even better.
Yeah.
It does to some extent, but don't you like finding like that undiscovered, or like
I
that
love that.
underrated
I love
gem that
I
like
love
people
that, man.
don't talk about, but you watch
Mob
it.
Cycle
and you're hooked.
100.
Oh yeah,
Oh, I
yeah,
love
yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
you seen it?
Yes,
Listen.
It's so sick.
It's
great,
so
man. Honestly,
wavy.
it's
It's so
great.
underrated,
Oh
man.
my
It's
God.
lit.
I
It's
didn't
lit.
even
It's
think
lit.
it was gonna be that good, and then I
Same.
watched it and I was like, "What's the? No, I have to
Nah,
watch
it's
more."
30.
It
It's
was
30.
mental.
Alright, so
crazy.
so
That's
JoJo's one of them.
Yeah.
What were the other three?
Yu-Gi-Oh obviously has to be on
Okay.
there because that was the one that got me into anime. Do you know what I mean? It can't be disrespectful. It's time to Oh god.
I love the
Ah,
Americans, man. The way that they do you think that was written in Japanese first? The intro.
I'm pretty sure like it was Japanese first, and
I
then they
can't hear it in
translated it.
English. I mean, I can't hear it in Japanese.
Yeah, same.
Yeah,
I can't.
I can't see it in
I'm
Japanese.
too
Yeah.
used
Is that
to
the
the
Dragon Ball
to
Z
the
intro as well?
I'm too used to the American intro. Hearing it in Japanese is just weird.
It'd be
man.
weird,
Like, just
yeah.
don't do that.
Do you remember Phone Shop? Do you mind watch Phone Shop Channel 4?
Yeah, I remember.
I remember Asian Donny fam. Oh,
I've
no,
seen him. I
it's
don't
a
remember what he's.
I don't know
funny
what
ass
I know what you're
guy.
talking about.
Yeah.
It's alright, divert. So you got Yu-Gi-Oh, Go-Go, and that's two. You got any more?
I would
Share
say
the sport, Croco no basket.
Hunter.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
come like chairman and that.
Hunter x Hunter 2011.
2011 remake.
The original's good, but like 2011 is like what
Yeah,
caught my heart. You know what I
that's
mean?
like everyone.
As soon as it got to episode 5, like I watched it, I liked it when it first started, but I was like, it hasn't quite got me yet. Then it got to episode 5 where he like really got into the exam, and I think that was like when they encountered Hizuka proper, and then I was like, okay, now I'm in.
Yeah.
That was the
What
moment.
got me there was when Killua took out that Donny's heart from and
Bam.
put it in a
Yeah,
bag.
man.
I was finished. I was
Serious.
like, yes.
There's
you're
too
getting
many
the next
moments
2
like
months
that
of my
throughout
life.
the whole anime.
Yeah,
You know how mad that is, like.
Yeah. No, it's moments like that hook you, but it was that they kept it continuously that good and kept the level of like hype going throughout the entire show
Yeah.
that makes it so good. You know what I mean?
I think one of the things that helped it was that, you know how you guys were saying that you don't, Murks was saying that he doesn't like the fact that animes keep going on and stuff like that. I feel like if you have the ability to reinvent yourself, then that's what I think Hunter did, innit? From the 1999 one to the 2011, it reinvented itself in a way. So like for me, it just got better. So that's what makes it one of the best animes. Like,
do you feel like
100.
that's where you know Berserk, they remade it? Do you feel like that's where it failed? Because I'm not gonna lie, the remake, I watched it.
Yeah. The remake wasn't quite the same.
It just-
Like some things should just be original. It's like Dragon Ball Z. Dragon Ball Z shouldn't be remade.
yeah.
No,
It should just be how it
No.
is.
No,
Dragon
it
Ball.
should
You feel me?
remain how it is.
Exactly. So
It would be like if they remade Harry Potter. Like, what are you doing? Or Lord of the Rings. Like, if they remade Lord of the Rings, I'd have a problem because, like, why would you? It's perfect the way it is. Like, you don't need to touch it.
definitely. No, I hear you on that one. And what's the last one? So Hunter, JoJo.
Hunter, JoJo, Yu-Gi-Oh, and then what? Oh, the last one. I'm kind of tired at the moment. Oh, this is hard. Okay. Toriko. I don't know if you've watched it.
Okay. Yeah. I've seen
Basically,
Toriko.
like the entire. So you know there are two kinds of people in this life. There are people who live to eat, and there are people who eat to live. I feel like I'm one of those people who lives to eat. Like I enjoy my food. I enjoy my food. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like the idea of like an entire world like run on like food and like the power ups it gives you and all that kind of business.
Yeah.
At first I was kind of like how
does this work?
Just on a world building scale, how does this work? But then like you get attached to the characters and like it's ridiculous.
With Toriko as well, it's like how it's so different. It's like
Yeah.
Attack on Titan the same way. Like Attack on Titan is very different.
Yeah.
Toriko is quite different as well in terms of how they've incorporated food in the world.
Exactly.
And then you just remember like, yo, this is what anime is. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just expanding imagination and just being creative
Exactly.
with it. And Toriko does that so well, and that's what I appreciate about Toriko so much.
I don't even think it was the actual first episode. I think it was you know, the bit at the beginning where they're like introducing all of the weird ingredients. Like some people say that bit, like when I first watched that bit, I was like, okay, I think I can rock with this. And then I watched the first episode with I think it was the Galala crocodile or something. And I was like, yeah, okay, yeah, I'm hooked on this. And I'm pretty sure I stayed up for like 2 days and I just watched like 20 episodes straight. And I was like, okay, yeah, this is gonna be the new vibe like every Saturday.
Do you feel like you are a proper anime head because you've had that young 6-year-old anime upbringing?
I feel
so you're accustomed to like the way anime looks, the way that they speak, and all of the animations and graphics there that it allowed you to conform to just being an anime head. Or do you think like you would like for example, if you were 18 and you were to watch anime for the first time, do you still feel like you would have liked it?
I don't think I would. I wouldn't be as like enthusiastic about it.
Oh yeah.
Like I'd appreciate the stories and everything, but I feel like if I had just gotten into it, like let's say 2 years ago, as opposed to like when I was 6, like the whole thing about it being animated would have slightly put me off. I don't know, like real life TV would have like been proper like ingrained to me at that point. So watching something that serious in animated form would have kind of been a bit ridiculous. I feel like that's low key why people think sometimes that like it's childish, like
that's crazy.
They can't get past the whole like animation. When someone says animation, you automatically think of like Disney, Pixar, like Monsters Inc. or something, but it's not.
Like, we might as well, before we get to we might as well just delve in that right now. Let's just get straight into it. So why is that? Why do people think anime is childish? Let's actually hit it at its root. Like
who flops it for us, innit? Like there's a certain group of people that therefore flop it for us. And I think it's those wacky ass nerds, who try to do Rasengan whenever they're angry at a club, and it all drunk. No, be real. No, come. I have to say how it is.
Man said Rasengan at a club.
Bro, why do you hate you so much?
Of all settings, a club.
So when a man bumps into you at a club,
Rasengan!
it ruins your one drop.
Bro.
You're just gonna Rasengan.
Bro, listen, I'll be real. You man, you black donnies, that go to uni, and watch anime and freak anime.
And buy kunai on Amazon.
Alright, cool. And then you go to a club, you're a bit waved, cool and confident in that, Don't try to do Shadow Clone Jutsus. Don't try to do Rasengan. Gomu no pistol. Allow it, You look like a waste man, and you're making anime look like a joke, fam. Because at the end of the day, I feel like that's why girls think specifically it's childish, because you got a drunk, bummy old guy trying to do Rasengan at this bouncer, bruv. Allow it, bruv.
Wait. Has a girl ever turfed you just based on the fact that you like anime? I don't think so,
I've had girls tell me specifically, I can't believe you watch anime. That's what my little brother watches.
I hate when they say that, though.
Really?
I hate when they say that.
Yeah.
I hate when they say that.
I can't lie. I've had girls tell me, "Thank you, Kevin. Anime is the best thing you've ever made me watch."
But that's the thing.
My friend was one of those people who couldn't stand
they're
it.
not even willing to watch anime.
Abby, if you're listening to this, you know who you are, because legit, I have so many of my friends. I used to be that girl who would like. Everyone would like when I was in secondary school. That there's like the IT corridor where all the computer suites are. That was where everyone chilled at like lunchtime. I would be the girl on the computer using the proxy site to get to either watch my illegal movie, watch my anime, or like read a book online or something.
That's crazy.
And for years, people took the piss out of me for it. They were like, "Oh, why are you reading books online? Why are you watching all these anime?" Then my friend Abby, who was one of those anime is childish people, don't even deny it. I can already tell you're gonna be like, don't even deny it. I said, watch Psycho Pass. She watched it, and now she's like high key into it. Debbie, you know who you are. She watched Hunter x Hunter 2011, and now she's high key into it. I'm telling you, it's those people who have never given it a shot. Like, for example, I say I hate Justin Bieber. I listened to the songs. I actually wasted wasted minutes out of this one life that I will ever have, and I listened to the songs, and then I decided that I would hate him and his stupid fringe. Not before
Justin Bieber.
Yes.
Are we gonna pretend like Justin Bieber isn't cold?
Bro, I was about to say, I want to interject, because like with Bieber, because you made an amazing point. when I first heard of when I first saw him, I was thinking like, who's this one little washed up kid in it? But when he released one of his, I can't remember,
Confident,
Chance
the Rapper.
Oh.
one of them, one album that he dropped, and I actually took some time out to actually listen to it. It was actually 30.
I think you're one of those guys that like us up from the start, bro.
What do you mean?
You're one of those guys that like us up from the start.
Usopp?
Yeah.
How you mean?
I'm just saying, you like for you One Piece heads, you know, like you're just one of those guys that like us up from the start. If you don't know, you don't know, bro.
So,
I'm starting.
Bro.
wait, who? I don't get it. Usopp.
He
said Usopp. Usopp was a liar. He was getting beaten up by
One
kids.
bro, you know what man has to say who? Yeah.
Why is it always coming back to One Piece, man? Alright,
Sorry, bro.
so back to the main topic here. It's a thing where I feel like if we hit the root of it, yeah, being serious now, I feel like it goes to your point in terms of the reason why people get so attached to anime being childish is because they don't actually give it a chance. Because you don't understand the depth and complexity that the story building has, the characters have.
The
It's
world
even
building in general.
exactly. It's even arguably as much as like real world. Like for example, Game of Thrones, for example. When I see Game of Thrones, I'm just thinking, alright, cool. Like One Piece does this, like Naruto does this. They've got different characters and different places.
You know Game of Thrones.
That all indulge in each other. Do you know
Game
what I
of
mean?
Thrones, low key. I don't know if you've ever heard of like there was like this family surrounding like the Pope, the Borgias. They lived in like the 16th century or some bullshit like that. All of this, like the whole Game of Thrones, is set like the sex, the blood, the murder, all of that. Low key, half of the families that lived back in the Middle Ages were like that. Like there were whole TV shows about people like that. But those same people who watch those shows will not watch Game of Thrones because they're like, oh, there's all this magic, blah, blah, blah. It can't be as serious. There's not going to be as much serious content in there. If you look at something like Psychopaths, for example, you have the whole dilemma of existentialism. Can we allow computers to judge us?
No one even knows what that means.
No,
That word was a bit big for me.
No one even knows what that means.
No, but like, would you allow a computer system to judge human beings on an index in real life? Like, would that run in a real life society?
They're just programs. So if we could judge people, we can make programs that also judge people. So
yeah, but that means you're quantifying good and evil. What about the exceptions? There's always an exception. There's always a gap in the theory. Do you know what I mean? It's things like this that show up.
I personally thought this is a mad tangent, innit?
Bro, I was thinking, are we not talking about anime here? Like, what's going on?
I don't know what
This is the thing. This is the thing. We still are talking about anime.
As soon as she said the existential, then we went into
I know. Watch this flip. Yeah. I just wanted to come to your point, which was the whole quantifying good and evil, innit? And that comes to Kevin's point of how deep you look into the animes to really appreciate it. Because even you made a point about Attack on Titan and the whole eating thing. If you told a new anime, someone who just wants to start anime to start watching Attack on Titan, they wouldn't get the whole deeper meaning behind the connections between the humans and the Titans, and kind of why the Titans are doing what they do and why the humans are doing what they do, and kind of the whole perspective of humans just want to live. Their whole purpose is to live, type thing, and the same with the Titans, type thing. And that's the perspective that someone that watches anime might possibly take. But when someone that doesn't watch anime or a new anime head, they'll kind of just see
there for the fights
on the graphics, all of the other stuff. So they're paying more attention to the graphics and the
superficial stuff.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? The storyboard of it, as opposed to real anime heads, and that kind of. In terms of childish, I feel like that's why people think anime is childish, because they can't see beyond the graphics and storyboard. They don't see the story. They don't see.
But they don't appreciate.
I'll ask you this: can you blame them? Because when you look at anime from the outside, to them it's just animation. There's nothing to tell you. You can't tell from a simple animation that there's a complex story behind it and everything. So
do you think they want to hear that though?
But that's the thing, and that's my point. My point is that I don't feel like you can blame someone from the outside and say they're saying it's childish because it looks childish. It looks childish, but obviously, because once you're in it, you understand it's a whole new world. Just like from the outside of looking in, you want like aliens would see the world and think this is just like.
To your point, I don't blame them, but it's a thing where like one thing I've realized is if loads of people are talking about something, there must be a reason behind it.
Where there's smoke, there's fire.
Exactly. So my thing is like, I don't really blame
Shout
anyone
out
that
to
looks
you,
down
Mum.
on it or whatnot, but it's the ones that won't give it a chance and still looking down on it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
No.
You have to have an open mind in order to be
my thing is
qualified to
like-
judge.
okay,
Don't open your
but-
mouth if
but
you
understand-
don't have an
but listen,
open mind.
know that in a way that in Japan, anime is more than it's a culture
It's
for them.
culture,
100%.
Whereas here
It's
in
not.
it's not a culture. It's more of a cult thing here. Whereas there is normalized, so it's daytime TV.
Yeah.
Whereas here you won't see animation on daytime TV unless it's a movie or it's actually one of those kids shows, which
Like
is what they
CITV
have
or
made us
something.
believe that it's a kids show.
100%.
So
Yeah.
even
It's
when
all-
they
it's all
they
like-
translate it, I feel like that's why I don't watch
Go,
dub.
Yugi.
Yeah,
It's-
like that's why no one watches
It's
dub
all
because
at
there's
the
a
end of
lot
the day,
lost
it's
in
all
translation.
conditioning. Do you know what I mean? Because when you grow up, you watch things like proper kiddie stuff, like Dora the Explorer or whatever childish things, and once you see cartoons behind that,
Dora was hard.
It was-
No matter what anyone says.
only
Wait,
bro,
have you seen the
only,
grown-up Dora?
only,
Swipey.
only the fox though.
Can you say
Well,
that?
But that's the thing though, because it's like once you see that, once you associate with that, and then you grow up, it's like, yo, that's where it kind of, that's the extent of it, that kind of childish thing.
Yeah.
But so again, you can't really blame anyone, but it's like at the end of the day, you haven't seen anime, so it's you that's missing out. Do you know what I mean? I've already seen my good content. I've already seen all this, so you're the one missing out on it. It's like people that don't watch Game of Thrones. You'd be like, oh yeah, it's too much or too complex. It's like that's on you then. Do you know what I mean? It's not us missing out. It's you.
I
You
heard
feel
that,
me?
but I feel like in terms of the way that's promoted, I definitely can't blame them type thing in the sense that when you see niggas on a train going to Comic-Con and that, and you're on your 9 to 5, innit? And you see someone looking like Sasuke or someone on the train, it's kind of like,
You want to
where
say
do you
Usopp
find-
in it?
it's like, where do you find your time in it to take one day out of your life to go
And do
play,
that.
to go play story
Yeah.
type thing?
It's true.
So from their perspective, it's kind of like I'm living the hardships of life, and I haven't experienced the getaway, which is anime type thing.
True, but then the reason why I don't buy that, or I struggle to buy that, is because you've got loads of people doing that with like Avengers, Star Wars, and that.
Exactly,
They all dress up for
exactly.
that, but it's a thing where people don't see anime as another form or another medium of telling a story.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? And that's all it is. It's like it's no different from going to the cinema, theater, actors, cartoon, real life actors. It's all about telling a
But
story.
the-
Of course,
yeah.
there's culture
Yeah.
attached to it,
They
which
just
TJ
don't
was
respect
mentioning.
the medium you're using
Exactly,
to tell
and
the
that's
story.
and I feel like that's
Exactly,
the
yeah.
source.
And you
It's
need
the
to
medium that's
you
being
need to have
presented
an
in.
open mind to appreciate
100%,
it
because-
before you come and start judging it.
100%,
Because
because what
if
you're
you
saying in
don't
terms
know
of
it,
people
you
dressing
can't
up,
talk about
people
it.
do that. People dress up as Iron Man all the time.
But
People dress up
that's because they see
Yoda.
They see real people. They see actors.
Bro,
When they
that's
see
my
Tony
point.
Stark,
It's the medium that is being
Yeah.
presented. It's not real life actors, but people forget it's a story.
Yeah.
It's how the story is being
Right.
presented to the general public, and that's why I feel like the misconception or the overall idea gets lost because people forget. Oh, like, so imagine Game of Thrones presented now as cartoon characters. It wouldn't be the same, but it's, the main thing is though, is that even if it's presented as a cartoon character or presented in a theater, it's still the story of Game of Thrones.
But as soon
feel
as
me?
you say to somebody it's a cartoon, they'll be like, oh,
Exactly.
it's nowhere near as
Cartoon,
deep.
yeah.
Suddenly, it's
Yeah,
nowhere
yeah.
near as deep. Do you know
And
what
again,
I
I
mean?
understand that. So it's just a thing where, like, listen, we've seen the good contents, we've seen the badass characters, we've seen the wavy characters like Aizen, Itachi, whatever. You feel me?
Oh,
You
Aizen,
haven't seen
man.
it. You haven't seen it. So it's a thing where you're the one missing out, not us. You feel me? So
Yeah.
that's where I stand on it, innit? And I feel like over the years, maybe the Japanese culture or the Japanese animation will increase because we have got a lot of new concepts, a new style of animes that are being pushed, and promotion and CGI and technology is higher than ever. It's at its best. So hopefully people can start to distinguish cartoon, baby level CGI or animation, whatever, with this higher level fights or Attack on Titan gear maneuvers.
Especially
Do you know what I
with
mean?
mainstream companies like Netflix and places
yeah.
like that. Though I
Exactly.
have my issues with Netflix, places like Netflix and that, like advertising it, actively uploading them, creating their own original shows. You know what I mean? It's getting out there to a wider audience. So I think more and more people are going to appreciate
Okay,
it.
now I got a question. Who specifically is saying that anime is childish?
I feel like majority of it, and I hate to do this, I feel like majority is a lot of girls. On average, it's a lot of girls, and it's just people that I'd say it's I wouldn't say it's kids, but it's like mature people that just haven't been exposed to the anime world. You just don't know what anime is, so of course you're gonna disregard it as childish because you haven't been exposed to it.
what kind of category of girls specifically?
I don't
feel
know.
attacked with this, man. I don't know about
do you
this
feel?
whole it's girls thing. Like,
It's just girls
No,
in
I didn't say
general, man.
it's
just
all
in
girls.
general.
But I just feel
It is
like
actually
it's
all
a
girls.
lot more girls that will say it's childish than guys. Do you know what I mean? I feel like guys are a bit more open to it. They understand like because
They
they've
watch
seen Dragon Ball Z. But it's like 'cause
Yeah.
all it is, all guys have. Okay, I won't say all guys, but a majority of boys or
You at
whatever
least heard
have
of
seen
it.
Dragon Ball Z exactly.
Yeah. You
But
at
it's
least
just the thing
heard
is
of it while you
you
were
grew
growing up,
out
you
of it
didn't
or
see it.
whatever. But you still know. All right, it's a bit more serious than swiping or swiping. Do you know what I mean?
You even get
There's-
a taste of that with like Avengers and stuff like
Exactly. You feel me?
But I feel like even with the guys, though, innit? Because my whole thing is I could only speak on what I've seen. So where I'm, which I'm not gonna say what ends I'm from, innit? It's a bit hot, but like where I'm from, London, innit? Let me just say London, yeah. I kind of understand what type of people in London kind of actively show that they watch anime, and I feel like lots of the black male community show mad love for anime, and they show that publicly. So in terms of if you ask anyone that kind of anyone that watches anime, any questions about Naruto or One Piece, you have a very engaging conversation, as though you guys known each other for years, type thing. Because the passion that you both shared for anime and all the amount of hours that you've put in behind it, it's all felt within that conversation. But I haven't really spoke to many white people that watch anime, you know.
I spoke to Bear, man.
So does that mean
Bears.
that the people that you were saying doing Rasengan at the club is black males?
Bro,
so
100%
dead.
black males, man. You ain't see that shit on Worldstar as well, man. All them dunnies dressed up like Naruto, fam. Doing that
The
one-
thing is, though, I've actually.
that level.
I don't think you understand the image of someone about to fight and they're prepping a Rasengan in a club.
It's the juice,
In a
bro.
club.
Bro,
I
I've
haven't
Bottle
seen that
smashing,
still.
I can
I've seen it,
understand,
I've seen
but
it,
if you're
bro.
gonna aim a Chidori at the body,
Bro, I've seen it, man. I've seen it all, man.
Bro,
I've seen it all in this
just
London.
drink your Ciroc and go in peace, man.
I've
wait,
seen it all in this London, bruv.
But
No,
I think
but
that
that's
comes again to culture. I think like the black community is closer to not so Western culture. So like we can I say we can access all of that easier in our community, whereas white people or let's just, I don't even like to say the word white people because I feel that's sort
Caucasian.
It kind of-
sorry.
yeah.
Caucasian, Caucasian
You
or
gotta say it how it is, bro.
or of not of ethnic.
Whoa, are we in that type of generation? We can't even say white people no more.
Bro, anything is racist these days, bro. You say
That's
black.
why I say
if
Murks,
you say
bruv,
if
'cause
a
I don't
white
give
if
a
a white
shit,
person
bruv.
says black at a workplace, then that's mad.
How's that bad?
That's
mad,
classified
it's mad.
racist.
What?
Bro, a white person cannot say you're black. Bro, deep
So
it.
wait, so
that's
I
mad.
don't know you
That's
from
mad.
I don't know you from Adams, yeah?
Yeah.
And I want to refer to you as something. I'm gonna describe you. I can't call you
He's black.
the black person.
I'm not gonna
That's
lie.
mad.
They're
That's
probably
mad.
gonna say coloured, and
Exactly,
that
that's
sounds
mad.
that sounds
That's
kind of
We're
like
in
out
that
of the
generation,
60s or something.
bro.
But then
We're in
most
that,
likely
that's
about
just
to
the
say
generation. That's where we're at right now, bro.
Because it's actually mad because I had actually just 2 days ago I had a conversation with one white guy. He said, he's kind of landlord type thing. He referred to her as a black woman, and she wrote a letter of complaint about him to get evicted because he referred to him as a black person. And it was like, he asked me specifically, should he have referred to her as a coloured person? And I thought, if you do refer to someone as coloured, you're establishing that there's some sort of
Alien.
difference or alienation between you guys. And the fact that you've said coloured means that you're consciously thinking about that. But with lots of my white friends, if they ever said coloured, I'd be like, so shit, that's been on your mind type thing, as opposed to us just being cool type thing.
Bro.
I feel like everyone's just manufacturing fake outrage
real,
about everything
for
these
real.
days. Like companies are using it to get sales. People are
Yeah.
just going through people's DMs and tweets and whatnot from 2010. I don't want someone to scroll back to my Facebook in 2010. I was still saying bruv and skin and a lie in all of my statuses on Facebook back then. I don't want people scrolling through my old Facebook, but people are just using all of this stuff to go and get Twitter to attack them, and it's just all long, man.
Alright,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, I
At
feel
the
you
end of the day,
still.
innit, like I feel like black people that I know watch anime. Like,
Yeah, that's what I said. Like
Yeah.
our culture's closer to Japanese culture in a sense. I'm not saying there's no bait correlation, but like I said, we're more accessible to other cultures because
we have culture.
Yeah, we're open. Yeah, because we have culture, so we're open to newer cultures. Whereas
That's not say white people don't have culture. For you, man, try to jump on the TL like, allow it. Man, just trying to say that black people, they have.
we still want white listeners, because white people, you have the money and we need the money.
Hey, you white people, yeah.
I love white people.
I like you guys to
Honestly.
some extent. I'm gassing, man. I'm gonna beat that out still.
All right, so I guess what's left is, do you guys think that stigma will ever disappear? That anime is childish.
AniMates, that's why we're here. We're here to educate you guys. You know
Why'd you say
Yeah,
that?
to show you
We're
what's
here to
out
show
there,
you,
the choice. You know what I mean?
Just a different medium.
I feel like as our generation becomes the more mature grown up generation, that stigma is slowly gonna disappear. Same with 20 years ago, the idea of I'm Nigerian, innit? The idea of me going into a career that would not be like your straight doctor, lawyer, something like that, would have been sort of like, are you mad? Like, 20 years ago. Now, you're seeing people, YouTubers out here, people being freelance artists, people streaming on Twitch for a living, and this is slowly and surely becoming like an accepted way of making funds, you know what I mean, making peace. So when our generation grows up, I feel like that stigma will slowly but surely disappear. It may not disappear entirely because we're a product of our environment. A lot of people will take that view that like our parents have. Say they watch it. My mum comes in, she sees me watching it, she's just like, what is this? Like, are you 5?
Oh, for real?
Yeah. And like people will hear that from their parents and they will to some extent pass it down. Do you know what I mean? So I don't think it's gonna entirely disappear, but I think it will substantially decrease.
Okay, obviously TJ, you were saying how you feel like it will never disappear.
Never, but it's a long way from happening, because it stems, like if you look at it, it stems from something where we live in a society where we haven't even fully accepted other cultures yet. So once we start to accept different cultures, then different cultures can come here, move across, and the transition is easy for so like daytime TV, all that again. So
okay, because how I see it, it's like hopefully it'll get to a point where it's like gaming. I feel like now people don't see gaming as a child's thing. There's loads of money pumped into it, competition.
This sad person sitting in your parents' basement. Like.
So hopefully, anime will get to a point where people actually take on board. Like, yo, like if I want a storyline like Game of Thrones, there are plenty of things like that in the anime world. Do you know what I mean? It's not just in just real life actors or TV shows or whatever. So I do think like there's a challenge in terms of. It'll take a while, but I do think the stigma slowly but surely will shift in the favor of like people start to understand.
I feel like there's the difference in variable between gaming and anime is that gaming evolves, and we've seen that TV doesn't. TV kind of fizzles out, so the new wave of TV is now Netflix. It's now all online. It's like Now TV, all of that accessibility on computers. And
that's evolution, though.
Yeah, so an evolution doesn't tend towards anime type thing.
I think it does slightly.
It can. Like, look at Netflix, for example. They're making big moves to have anime original series. That's a big step in it. That's a statement.
Did you guys see the Godzilla Part 1 and Part 2? True. Netflix made their own original versions of that, like anime versions of that. Slowly but surely, they're like investing money and time to keep up with it. Do you know what I mean? Because it's not just going to disappear from Japanese culture, and the world is becoming a lot more globalized.
Very true.
You know what I mean?
But here's what I mean about anime. Anime is originally Japanese mangeki writing. Yeah. So when you say stuff like it's evolving to Netflix and all that stuff, that is kind of almost like saying your original vampires are not vampires no more. They're just like these new. Do you know like the whole generational thing of vampires? It's kind of that, and I feel like real anime heads. The reason why you guys are listening, the reason why we actually anime heads, is because we grew up on the foundation of Japanese mangeki. So kind of saying that Netflix and stuff are gonna come out of Netflix originals, that's taken away from the very thing that made us get into anime, which is Japanese mangeki, Japanese translation, all of that good stuff there.
No, I feel like
it
again, that's where that's
where
I feel like you're missing the point in terms of it's not the actual creators, it's the medium where it's being shown to you.
Yeah.
Netflix is just a medium.
Okay.
It's still Japanese creators. For example, Death Note is on there. Nanatsu no Taizai is on there. Just because it's on Netflix doesn't take it away the actual heritage of it being anime from the Japanese culture. It's just, again, it's another medium, another access point if you like to say, to
Yeah.
watch it, which is Netflix.
And
And that's where it's evolving.
Yeah,
Evolving.
high-key,
Sorry.
for all my cheapskates out there, I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't trying to have a Netflix account for years because I'm not about to pay £9 something. It used to be £7.99. These robbers have raised the price by another £2.
Crazy.
Yeah, it used to be like just online websites wherever you could find it. If you saw it on somebody's TV, oh yeah, can I come around yours, watch the anime? Yeah, come. Now, like if you have the Netflix, roll with that. But I feel like the whole tradition of like you watching it on the TV, high key, like I got into it when I was like small, but like, I don't think I became like all the way in love with it until I was like 11. You know, when you're just entering like year 7 and you can finally access a computer. And back then it was like Pixo Bebo. Everyone was a computer hacker low key because you had to learn to get that gif of Nyan Cat to cross your screen. So that's when everyone was finding like the proxy sites and the whatnot.
Yeah.
That was when I like proper went in, because I feel like you have to put when you put effort into something that you truly love, that's when you fall all the way in love with it. Do you know what I mean?
Agreed.
So I feel like that was the moment. Like when I was a kid and I first watched Yu-Gi-Oh, that inspired me. But I feel like I fell all the way in love with it when I put in that effort to find it online and do all the rest of that. I feel like that's what,
I
like my year, like that's what
Yeah.
I feel like got us into it. So that tradition isn't gonna fade just because like traditional TV isn't as popping anymore. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel like one thing that maybe like it might happen in the future is one big celebrity will proper co-sign anime heavy, and it will cause like this big shift and everything. Like for example, like there's a few like, so obviously that's why we've got platforms like this, you know what I mean? So to increase awareness, to increase anime discussion, for people to actually get insight, like yo, you can actually have some serious life, you can even learn some life lessons from anime, you can even like just indulge, have a little break from the real world and actually proper get into anime, as well as have good debates and discussions from it. And I feel like maybe in the future there'll be like one celeb that proper coincides it or something and cause like a big shift in the whole kind of culture, because there are kind of big celebrities that watch anime. So for example, I know Michael B. Jordan that played the villain in Black Panther. He's read every single manga chapter of Naruto because he's an anime head. But not everyone will know that. Do you know what I mean?
It's
so I feel
kind of
like
Henry Cavill with gaming, because you know the guy is actually high key a nerd. Like he missed the first call to play Superman because this guy was playing a World of Warcraft campaign.
mad.
Yeah,
See, it's things like that, like people don't really know. But once it gets exposed, or once people see that, oh raw, like Michael, imagine the amount of girls if they actually knew someone like Michael B. Jordan was watching anime, how would they react? You feel me?
Bro, they know.
So I don't know. I feel like the stigma won't ever kind of go away, but it will slightly shift in a way. That's where I stand on
But
it.
is
to be
there a
honest.
big enough celebrity that can make it change?
Drizzy.
That's it.
I'm tired of this man Drake, man. But to be
Nah,
honest,
Drake, I don't know.
Drake
does,
slander on this podcast will not be tolerated.
he does have a proven track record though, like him with the whole Fortnite thing, and now all of a sudden Twitch channels are popping up everywhere.
Blowing
you know
up.
what I mean?
Remember when he did the whole table tennis thing? Everyone thought he was going to start playing table tennis. The guy, he's a legend, man.
I don't know, man.
I feel like it will remain childish until guys that are piping all you girls watch anime, fam. I'll be real, fam, because all you girls that are not getting the El Kake, you get me?
Done with this.
You, man,
wait,
you are the same girls that are saying anime is trash.
This is for KB, innit, who claims that anime is the best thing he's ever introduced to girls. When you
No, I didn't say that. I said I've had feedback of girls telling me, thank you for
That's
showing me
absolutely
anime. So
That's fine. That's fine.
I
but
could
It's
conclude,
facts, innit?
I
My
could conclude
question
that
is-
KB is correct with
Oh,
what he said with that.
look at that, look.
That's
You're
fine. That's
fine.
fine. That's fine.
Facts.
That's cool, bro. I'm not debating that. It's not a fact or whatever. I'm just asking. Say you're chilling, you invite a girl over. Are you putting on
Anime and chill.
am I putting on?
If
I'm
she's
putting
not
on-
like, if she's never
Anime
said,
and
if she
chill.
does, if she knows, if
That
you know
shit's
she
called
don't watch
hentai,
anime.
bro. Wrong
Hey,
genre,
whoa,
bro.
whoa, whoa, whoa.
I say put anime on, bro.
Nah, but to answer your question, I'd put not necessarily. I'd always be like, oh, like what are you into? I want to understand what they are into first.
Alright, cool. But that's
You
the
feel
thing.
me?
Like, in a sense, do you know you can't put it on
Me,
because
if you're in my premises, like you might even walk in, you might see a Tachi picture on the wall, fam. I can't lie. Like,
I had anime posters in my room in my last year of college.
Same.
in my last year of uni,
Yeah.
every single girl that came over.
TJ, yeah.
Always like, what's that?
TJ,
Like,
jeez.
Childish this, childish that. Why do you have posters? Yeah, bro, that's how.
I could pull, but then low key, yeah, they didn't see you as like someone different. Do you know what I mean?
Wait,
Like,
TJ, real
bruh.
quick. I don't know how you skipped over this, KB. Like, how many girls you have in your room, bro?
Just the one, bro.
You know that
That's
lying
the
is a
good
sin.
answer.
I'ma just say this now. Lying is a sin. Shame the devil.
There's
Man
such
has
thing.
so
There's
many.
such thing as augmented reality.
Big words.
Man's really dipping into
Augmented.
that dimension.
So you're going on the hentai 3D simulators then? Is that what you're doing?
Whoa.
I don't even know what that is.
Whoa.
Okay.
I don't know what that is, man.
Whoa.
Like you said before, elimineskeshka, whatever you
Listen,
said.
I could be
It's
trunks in
okay.
it.
Whatever word you said
For you-
before.
for you guys-
Elimineskeshka.
I think he's trying to run for the plausible
Eliminated,
deniability
whatever.
here. It's
For you
calm,
guys at
calm.
this episode
All
1, you
calm.
get me. It's why I'm like trunks in it, bruv. Because I come into different timelines here and I fuck shit up. You know what I mean?
What's the timeline?
Man said time.
Oh,
I
well.
feel like the girls specifically, I think as KB, would you agree saying that the girls are the ones that call it childish?
A lot of them at the time, because I feel like all guys have seen or heard of Dragon Ball Z, or got a friend that
Yeah.
watches Dragon Ball Z, so you understand to some extent. Do you know what I mean? The depth of it.
So, Ads, I got a question for you now, yeah? As a girl, how do you girls view other girls that watch anime? So, girls, non-anime heads, other girls that watch... So, girls that don't watch anime, how do they view girls that do? Bruv, man can't talk today.
Okay, I feel like this is slightly related to like a wider overall topic. Did you ever get asked, like, did you ever get the impression like you weren't like black enough for watching anime? It was like you had to have like a certain criteria of stuff that you had to like. You had to listen to hip hop music. You had to listen.
Oh,
to
what, and like watch
Afrobeats.
Power? What
Yeah.
do you mean?
No, like you had to know like all
That's
the
not black.
Afrobeats. You had
Yeah,
to
yeah, yeah.
do all of that.
Okay.
And as soon as you mention like, oh, say I don't know, you read fan fiction or something, or you watch anime, people are kind of like, where's
Yeah,
where's this
I
coming
hear
from?
that.
I'm not sure about that.
I think-
Did you ever
get that reaction?
No, I'm black.
No,
Nah,
you
I
definitely get
don't
judged
get it.
straight
No, no,
away.
you do
How you
get
know?
judged
Get
for it.
judged.
You
You
do
definitely
get
get
judged
judged
for it.
straight
High
away.
key,
For like
you
what?
get-
For like not listening to like hip hop, R&B.
Yeah,
So for
yeah.
example, you see the one black guy with 10 white people. It's kind of like, oh shit. Alright, cool. That's nothing wrong with it, but that's who you are, type thing. You're that black guy that chills with 10 white people. There's nothing wrong with that, but that's you, and that's automatically being judged.
I feel like there is
Same thing
sort
with,
of like that criteria,
alright,
that
you-
mythical criteria that you have to fulfill in
Yeah,
order to
yeah,
be
I-
like properly
I
black.
agree with that.
I feel like I did like high key experience that when I was a bit younger. So
Mm-hmm.
the whole watching anime thing, even like from some other girls, you do get that kind of reaction. Like, why
I think
are
that's.
you?
I think that's what. That,
Yeah,
I think
but
it's
I feel
more
like-
likely in girls.
But I
What,
feel
it's
like
even
it's
in your
a
own
lot.
house. It's like
I
your
feel
mum-
like it's
it's
a
like your
lot
mum looking
less
at you
girls. I feel like it's
watching
a
anime.
lot less girls though than you think who react like that. Because remember, the way you guys had like Dragon Ball Z, we had like Sailor Moon, all of the things like
Totally
that. So
Spies.
We're all
don't.
lesbians, isn't it?
Man said totally. Listen, the online game
Kim
for Totally
Possible.
Spies, I
Possible
died
was
on
cold,
that
man.
online
Kim
game,
Possible
but
was
nah.
hard.
Yeah, she's hard still.
Painting.
I think even
Kim
the
Possible was
adaptation's
good.
coming out as well. I
Yeah,
saw that on the
it's
TL the
wow.
other day.
No, but like as
Yeah.
the way you guys had like Dragon Ball Z, we had like Sailor Moon
Sailor
and
Moon.
other shows as well. So it's a lot less girls than you think who
But that's
have
what-
that reaction. But high key, some
Was
of them
Sailor
do
Moon on
not
TV?
lie.
I believe so. Back
Yeah.
in the day, like Dragon Ball Z.
It wasn't
days.
our time. Definitely wasn't.
No,
Yes.
it
That's
was on TV.
1990s, bro.
It was on TV, and there
What
are like
channel?
I can't remember, but
I
it
think
was
is,
on
I think it's 'cause it's the
TV.
same energy of like Dragon Ball Z still.
Mhm.
Bro, there
Even
was
though Dragon Ball Z
Sailor
is
Moon,
from
there was-
way back.
Yeah,
No,
but
like
that's what I mean.
there
like,
are
in our
shows like
generation, which
Tokyo
was, like,
Mew Mew,
2005 and
Sailor Moon,
whatever.
all of those that were on TV, and high key there are sites where you can find like all of those
Yeah,
cartoons
that's what I'm-
and
that's what our
whatnot that
point-
you go back to
Alright,
watch.
let's say, back then when girls were younger, we were watching our animation accessible on TV, whereas girls they couldn't watch that.
If
Their-
I pull it
their- what
up,
they were
I'm
exposed
fairly
to
certain
was-
I can find a channel where like Sailor Moon was on in like 2002, 2003 or something.
No, 2003. No one was talking here. Yeah, we were all. No, I'm talking about age where we're able to. I'm saying 10, 11, 12, 13. Those kind of ages where we're able to acknowledge what we're watching and take it in. And
The only thing you
and
were
like
seeing
it.
then was Digimon and Pokemon, man. Like where
When
was
I was
the rest
13.
of it? Where
How
was
old
the
are you?
rest of it? 21.
Bro, we're,
I
then
feel
we're the
like-
same age.
I feel like if
Where
you've
was the
missed,
rest of it?
if you've
Bruh,
missed
I was
the
watching
TV
Galactic
Oh, no.
Football.
the
I was
TV
in, yeah.
phase of anime, then it would have been very hard for you.
That's my point.
to
For
get
girls,
into anime
exactly.
for girls.
For girls,
So I
that's
understand what he's
exactly-
talking about is because I feel like girls would have missed the whole TV phase
Yeah.
of anime, which is why they're not as accepting as guys, because we all had like, even if you didn't watch Dragon Ball Z, it's like, oh my gosh, you don't watch Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, like-
that's the catharsis. With girls, on the other hand, it was okay not to watch those shows.
They were
Because
more
you had
others.
is it Zoe 101? You had Hannah
cold.
Montana. You had like
Exactly, they had
Hannah
reality
Montana
show.
was
Amanda
good.
show,
I'm not even gonna front.
all of that
Yeah.
stuff.
Brats
there.
and all that kind of things.
Yeah,
there,
yeah.
like-
So I feel like you had
I don't know what you're watching, Kevin.
a different
I've got a
medium.
sister G, chill.
And a different medium there, and I feel the girls that are accepting are girls that have brothers or girls that have very close friends that do watch anime who
No.
are very reliable sources.
Because it was 3 sisters and then my younger brother. So
Well, actually, you had the luck of falling in love with Yu-Gi-Oh at a young
Exactly.
age.
Not
Not
yeah,
many people
not
had
all-
the luck of falling in love with Yu-Gi-Oh.
Even Mandem never didn't fall in love
Yeah,
with
like,
Yu-Gi-Oh like that.
I didn't know anime was anime until I watched Shaman King. Do you know what I
real.
mean? Or
And
Shaman King and
Jungle-
Naruto
yeah.
and all the obviously lots of people grew up on Pokemon. People wouldn't have jumped onto anime because of Pokemon. People wouldn't have jumped onto anime because of Digimon. But I feel like after they watch a serious anime like Naruto that was on TV, Shingeki, Shaman King that was on TV, even Beyblade, like original Beyblade was amazing.
Yeah, even
Those
back then there
toys.
was more of a split in terms of you knew which shows were for Mandem and you knew which shows were
Yeah,
for girls.
100%.
Whereas now is everything's more because they're
whatever you like,
yeah,
whatever you like.
Yeah.
Now, it's not. It's even more of a thing where they're trying to bring it all together. So anything like a boy would like, a girl should like as well, because you know they're gonna complain gender equality and
Yeah, all
everything.
these transgenders
So that's
and all
that's
these
what.
things.
Yeah.
Shout out to all
Moving
my
mad.
transgender people out there
Thank
watching
you.
the podcast.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying like, in a generation now, it'd be easier for girls to fall in love with anime, whereas back then it was harder because there was a clear definition. Girls would watch like things like Totally Spies, Zoe 101, all that, whereas girls were more inclined to watch Disney Channel and stuff, whereas boys, we were more inclined to watch Jetix, Cartoon
I'm not
Network.
gonna lie, Disney Channel pissed me off when I was
Disney
young.
Channel banged.
Disney Channel
was-
bang.
it-
There was a
Disney-
certain
some of it
era.
was
There was a
old.
certain
Come
period,
on.
yeah.
Some of it was good, but like high key, some of it pissed me
Nah,
off.
it
like,
got
even
Nah,
when
it's
when
good,
it, when
man.
they started like trying to revamp it all, it got trashed.
Do you know
But
what we need?
Yeah.
it was at its peak at a
We need
point.
the anime
Yeah,
version of
100%.
Phineas and Ferb, bro. That would be crazy.
For real. Bro,
We should
like
do that as
even-
animates, bro.
Do you know?
We'd
Do you
be
know
blowing
how?
up.
Do you know how mad Phineas and Ferb is? Like, I
Why
read
not?
some mad rumor the other day, like a theory around Phineas and Ferb. Deep that it's a cartoon, and there was a theory. I lost my mind.
Oh yeah.
I couldn't
What's the
believe
theory,
it.
bro? I think
It
there's
was
something
something
like Candice.
Yeah, Candice.
Was,
yeah,
she
one
had
of
a
them
mental
is dead.
illness.
One of them is
Yeah,
dead.
she had a mental illness.
Yeah,
innit?
one of them is dead, and she keeps like saying to the mum, come look what Phineas and Ferb are doing," but
Yeah,
because
yeah.
they're dead, like
The mum can't see
The
it.
mum can't
Never
see them,
it,
yeah.
never see
That's
them.
why she never catches them,
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Oh, that's
that
crazy.
was
Yeah,
mad.
I heard
like,
that before. Still,
mad-
See,
my
for
mind
all
was
you
blown.
non-anime heads, yeah, that's what you expect from anime. That's standard in anime. Do you know what I mean? It's these plot twists there that make anime heads because we just
Word.
like the whole plots and that. So
cool.
if
So
you are one of those girls, actually no, not say girls, a couple. Actually, I don't really know any mandem that shy it away. But if you're anyone out there, you think it's childish, therefore give it a chance. Therefore, kind of open your mind up to the possibilities of a new world, new dimensions, new kind of philosophies, different perspectives and stuff like that.
Don't knock it till you've tried it. Do you know what I
Therefore,
mean?
that's my
that's what
energy,
she
man.
said,
And
man.
if loads of people are talking about something, there's always something behind it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, where there's smoke, there's fire. Do you know what I mean? So
That's
It's
it
also
still.
marshmallows.
if you're making s'mores, pass me some minute.
So yeah, I think it's time to do our little segment on anime hot takes. So this segment includes basically every week someone randomly will express a specific anime moment that meant a lot to them, whether that got them hyped up, whether it got them upset, whether it got them angry, or just they felt a type of way basically. And now it's like their opportunity to kind of say why they felt like that and get our reaction on the same moment as well. So this week's hot take is going to be done by Adiola.
Hey, it's gonna be me.
Ads.
So yeah, you could just kind of take control.
So for me, it was between Yu-Gi-Oh and Attack on Titan, and I know a lot of you man may not be as attached to Yu-Gi-Oh, so I feel like we're gonna give it to Attack on Titan.
Okay.
So, oh god, it just came up with the horrific, the icon from the live action thing. I can't deal with that. But no, like I feel like the first episode of Attack on Titan, like
That's a good shout.
no one was prepared for that. Like nobody, no one was checking for like the manga like that until the first episode came out. I feel like, and then the world exploded. Like people who didn't even care about anime like that, they saw a clip from somewhere and they were like, guys, I've heard about this new show, and I was like, 2 weeks ago you were calling me childish for watching anime. Like, what's going on? But like,
keep the same energy, bro.
Listen, be consistent. But as soon as that episode dropped, man, like you're just seeing reaction clips.
I'm not really on Twitter like that, but I'm pretty sure there was a wave of people just chatting about.
Honestly.
So walk us through it, Adiola. Like the specific scene that you wanna or made you feel a type of way.
It was just it was the whole episode.
Oh,
like,
the entire episode.
Yeah, it built up like the tension until that like you didn't even know shit was gonna go down until it happened. But when you look back, like
in episode 1, I swear you see his mum's arm getting bit off.
Her legs are like trapped onto the building, and then he like nah. And it's the fact that like he's looking back as he's slung over the back of like this drunk ass man who's like been that annoying uncle who no one really cares about in the family. But now your mum is trapped under a building. She's telling you to run. He's picked you up, and as you're looking over your shoulder, you're seeing this like 12-foot monster pick up your mum and chew her to the point where like there's like somebody's exploded a Capri Sun. Like there was just blood flying everywhere.
Yeah.
Like if that happened in real life, I cannot imagine like what I would be feeling like child of that age.
It's so crazy.
That's crazy.
And it was the fact that like just the beginning of the episode, like when everything went down, like you just watched the shadow appear and you're like, when it comes full circle, this is gonna be mad. Like you knew you were gonna feel emotional before you even watched the rest of the episode. You know when you see a movie and like they give you that whole, it was at this moment that she knew she fucked up, and then it goes like back in time, like 2 weeks ago. You already know, like once you see that little clip, that you're gonna feel emotional when you've come full circle,
so
and you can't wait to start the journey.
After this episode, like, were you just hooked in?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you
100%. I was wait.
I feel that's the general consensus. Everyone was just like, whoa.
Yeah, everyone was like, "Where's episode 2?"
It was dead.
Explain that, bro.
I thought the rest of the episodes after that were trash until it got to the point where Eren like became a Titan. Not even became a Titan. When Eren became a scout. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
when he like graduated.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
because it was dry. It was dry, and I was thinking, like that first episode was so tense.
It wasn't as like.
Yeah,
tense.
It was just like.
Yeah,
it's like you went from, it started off as 100, then went down.
Yeah, but this
then
is the
jumped,
thing.
Spiked again.
This is the thing. It raised your like anticipation so high that you knew something was gonna happen. Yeah. That made you
watch the rest. I can't lie. I quit. So I watched it.
And then you stopped.
Yeah.
Or you watched
quit.
episode.
I was like, it's dead.
Bruh.
Then I came back, watched it again.
Yeah.
I had to stick with it.
I watched it with this whole thing like, it was all about the box that his dad placed somewhere.
Oh, the
basement.
The basement thing. I was like, where?
I was watching like, when is he gonna get the basement? When's he gonna hit the basement? When is he gonna hit the basement?
They're 3 seasons in and they have
3 seasons in and they haven't even mentioned it type thing, in the sense that that's how big of a vision the Mangeki had when writing this anime, and I thought that was just amazing.
I'm sure it was a short anime now. Like he originally.
Yeah, the original plan was to be one season, but because of the demand and the popularity of it, he decided to stretch it. Which I don't necessarily blame him. Like I can understand it.
That was phenomenal.
Right decision, to be fair.
Yeah, I feel like it worked in this situation, but like you know, what am I about to say? Tokyo Ghoul. Season 1, phenomenal, banged. Season 2, not as good. Then Jack came out, and I was just kind of like, you could have left it at season 2, and I would have been fine.
How do you think about the start of Tokyo Ghoul, real quick?
The whole prequel thing that came out, and I was just kind of like,
what? Tokyo Ghoul RE.
No, not that one. Hold on, I'm about to bring it up.
I feel like Tokyo Ghoul was defo a contender to be a breakthrough, but I feel like it fell short because of season 2.
Yeah, but apparently the manga and the anime weren't correlating.
Yeah, and
So,
that's the.
we
Yeah.
can't blame
That's
them.
I hate when
Netflix,
manga and
that's
anime
Netflix
does
for
that,
you, bro.
man.
That's
That's not
That's
Netflix.
Netflix.
No,
How's that
that's
Netflix?
true. I
Listen,
can't even.
that's
Yeah.
Netflix.
It's not
bro.
Netflix.
It's
Bro.
not
It was
Netflix, but it's the
Yeah.
Netflix effect.
Bro,
I'ma call it.
all I'm saying in it is that's why you man are not getting the hardcore
Yeah, see Tokyo
anime.
Ghoul Jack.
But explain how Netflix impacts that.
Netflix
It's like
could
a,
only show
it's like
you
an over or something. It's,
what
it just
they have
wasn't as
rights
good.
to, innit?
That's why no one knows
Okay.
about it because it wasn't as good.
and if you ain't got rights to up to a certain season of an anime, or you ain't got rights to whatever adaptation that they came out with. So, for example, you might have rights to old Hunter x Hunter, but not new Hunter x Hunter type thing. That messes up people's experiences of the anime, of the seasons, and kind of like Bleach in a way, because you know how Bleach is on there. Like, people would have loved Bleach if they watched it online and knew what fillers to skip.
Yeah.
As
Okay.
opposed to watching it on Netflix and being like, this is a dead anime. Because, like, my sister started watching Bleach. She hated it. But why? She didn't know that you meant to skip the fillers. She just watched it as Netflix wanted you to watch it.
But that's not Netflix's fault about skipping fillers. It's part of the thing. Do you know, if they don't educate you,
Yeah, but I'm saying you're not going to be educated if you don't feel like there's something to be educated on.
no. But that's even if you watch it online. You won't even know to skip fillers unless someone tells you to skip fillers.
Bro, if you're on a site,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that there's sites that say filler, canon,
No.
filler canon.
Or
The
there'll be
majority of
comments.
sites
Bro.
would
Or there'll be
comments.
comments.
That's
100%.
scrolling
Like,
down
bro,
for comments
skip
cool,
this
but
episode.
I don't know
majority of
what's-
sites, listen,
yeah,
majority of sites,
majority,
would just say go to the next episode. You're on episode 31, go
Yeah.
to 32, or go back to 30. No one educates, like even you yourself, yeah.
AniLinks
How
does,
did you know
so I'm
about
gonna quickly
fillers?
shout out AniLinks.
So
The
you know
site
about,
that I use-
wait, so you know about fillers back in the day? No one told you. AniLinks told you this is a filler.
So when I
That's
was
what I mean.
when I was watching on TV, I had no idea what filler was. Yeah.
Yeah.
As soon as I went online, I knew what filler was.
Okay, that's not the case with
canon.
me, and I know with a lot of anime heads because they don't really tell you. Because when you watch one episode,
Yeah.
it's numbered. So, for example, you're automatically
Yeah.
going to go to 33, 34,
I'll be real,
35,
I'll be
36.
real.
So
And
you
that's
won't
only
know.
that's a very targeted problem because there isn't many ongoing animes. So fair enough, that is very subjected to the big three. Basically, subjected to the big three,
Pretty
as you
much.
know, Ippo, and all of those long-lasting ones.
Yeah.
So
Pretty
there
much.
not like there's
The
a
longer
massive,
shows.
but
Yeah.
kind of Bleach and Netflix was my only example, so I guess it's not a strong enough foot to stand on. But alright, cool. Let me recheck the whole Netflix thing because we want to get signed in it. So shout out Netflix.
the thing is,
man.
the thing is about Netflix, yeah. The thing is about
Don't sign
Netflix
up.
is like, even if that problem existed, what you're saying,
Yeah.
it's still about what they do in terms of exposing anime would outweigh this little problem, even if it did exist. Do you know what I mean? They're still putting anime out there because Netflix is a big platform. Because you've got people, do you know what I mean, want to do Netflix and chill. They've seen all the latest stuff. They're like, I don't know what to watch. So you
Okay.
may get someone coming across
whoa,
anime.
1
You feel me?
minute, or God, please, 1 minute. So, if you what like, it's like okay. So say you have like a book.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say, okay, did you read like the Percy Jackson series? I don't know if you read
And
those.
the Lightning
Yeah,
Thief.
yeah,
That
Yes,
thing.
yeah. Did you read those?
Kind of.
No.
I read like the first book and I was hooked. Like I read the entire thing. I waited. Like I found out the dates when the next books were
Jeez.
gonna come out. Like I researched. I did all of that. So then the first movie came out and I watched it and like I left that cinema with like anger in my chest. Like in my heart, I was vexed because it's just they chopped and changed the whole plot and it was like you didn't even have to do that to fit it into
Apparently
a
that's
movie.
how Game of Thrones readers
Game of
feel.
Thrones is exactly like that.
Yeah, the thing is though, like I understand taking out certain parts to make it feasible as a movie or like as a series. People have to make compromises all the time.
Yeah.
What I don't understand is like, for example, Death Note, you changing the entire location, changing the guy's name, it just didn't fit. It just wasn't right. So if someone watches it and like feels all of these shortcomings but doesn't know where they're coming from, they'll just be like, this is trash, and they won't give it another shot. It's like if I hadn't read the books of Percy Jackson and I just watched the movie, I'd be like, this is some dead teenage adventure movie. Reading the books, I'm like, oh, this shit is funny. But watching the movie, I'm like,
I agree to
I'd
some
rather
extent
not.
because it's like Game of Thrones, for example, yeah? Do you know the amount of stuff they've taken out
Oh,
of
of
the
course,
actual TV
yeah.
series?
It's
But
like Lord of
because
the Rings as
you
well.
don't know it's taken out, Game of Thrones is still that Game of Thrones that you see on TV, and
Mhm.
loads of people fuck with it. You know what I mean?
This is the thing though, if the TV show isn't as good, like on that level, if the TV show is like not up to standard and you just watched the TV show and you were bored, you wouldn't go and look at the source material. You just wouldn't, because you'd assume that if they've done all of this spice and all of this business to the TV show and it's still not banging, why am I going to go and read the book where there's nothing happening visually in front of me? It's just dry text. Do you know what I mean? So I feel like it kind of spoils the mangeki's work if the TV show or the adaptation isn't up to scratch.
No,
because people won't go and look back.
It's spoiling the mangaki's work here, but it's a thing where mangakas, their most important thing is their manga chapters, because obviously we're not from the culture, so we don't quite understand what a real life manga book, like a chapter, actually is to a mangaka. Do you know what I mean? I think that's their priority, to hit the weekly targets, to make the sales. Anything that happens with the anime or games or merchandise, that's secondary. Do you know what I mean? So as long as their main work is cool, because they sell off the rights to all these studios to do whatever to make their money. They don't really care about Too Tough. Do you know what I mean? That's us placing a value on it.
Yeah.
But it's the thing where their main thing is, as long as their chapters that they actually write verbatim is good, that's the number one thing with manga chapters.
So going back to Attack on Titan, I actually didn't know Attack on Titan was Attack on Titan like until 3 weeks later, because I used to call it Shingeki no Kyojin all the time.
Same.
Was it?
I
Oh, I
didn't
didn't
know
know
when people are saying Attack on Titan, I'm like, oh, what are you watching? Like, is that a new anime or something like that? But yeah, going back to the episode 1, your hot take, I feel like my favourite part, or that part that got me hooked. No, it's my favourite part. It's a bit dark, innit? But when his mum got chopped up, innit, I just thought that was basically the Killua taking that guy's heart in Hunter x Hunter for me.
I feel like that
thing.
was definitely
And that's kind of going across to Luffy. I feel like that's Luffy giving Nami. Bruv, I'm going across the board. Relax, like, come on, man. Man's going across the board. It's like Luffy giving Nami the hat. My biggest moment. And then going to Naruto, I feel like it'll be Sasuke unlocking the Sharingan for the first time to save Naruto. Because I thought both of them were going to get banged up type thing. And then it was the Sasuke guy, man. That's the first thing I saw on TV as well. So I feel like you need that a bit in every anime you watch, and you need it quite early. You need it very early, or else it's tight.
Would you guys say that this is probably the best episode 1 in terms of shock value for anime?
I don't know about that.
Saitama, that was
What was the shock value for Saitama? I can't remember episode 1.
That was when you had that big monster that come out, with the skull on his head, that massive guy, and he just come and wipe his head.
Would you say that's more of a shock value than Eren's mother?
It depends what you like type thing. So Eren's mother caught me on more of an emotional thing, because I'll be real, I remember there's one time,
You put yourself
I went to go Super Saiyan in it, because alright, cool, hear this. So man was,
so you're them guys at the club, fam.
You're the guy at the club.
Alright, listen, you pagan. Anyway, man was 6 in a club, I not say I was probably about 9 in it,
At a club.
They allow 9-year-olds at clubs.
Allow. Man's about to get serious here. Alright, cool. So man's around 6 to 9 or whatever. I was in primary school. I don't know how old you are when you're in primary school, And my brother was meant to walk me home, innit? And then next thing you know, like 7 man come around the corner with like bats and shit coming for him, And he told me to run, innit, with my sister, with my older sister. And I'm looking back like, Rod, these man are about to rush you, telling me to run type thing. And there's some parents and that around trying to drag me away, similar to that drunk cop guy in Attack on Titan saying run away type thing. And then he just got the pumping in it, really. So I feel like that in itself, just for watching episode 1, I was like, that's crazy, fam, because I actually really felt it.
Yeah, you related to it.
I 100% related to it, and it took me right back to that moment of I understand exactly how Eren feels.
Yeah.
You're
So with that being said, so which one would you put as more of a shock value then?
So that's why I put kind of Eren with Shingeki no Kyojin as the kind of number 1 episode clinger for me, because it transcended just entertainment. It was like, it really reminded me and showed kind of the impacts that you really caring for someone and wanted to do something, but know that you have no power.
Yeah, you're helpless.
You're deprived of all power to do anything, and you have to kind of stand there and watch type thing. And it's, what would you do if you're like, now you might go chat shit about Super Saiyan now, you waste, man. So obviously, man just wanted to go Super Saiyan, and Eren right there, like, if you could, you would have gone Titan, but there's nothing in your power. And I thought that's something I really liked about it, because they showed that you're powerless.
Yeah.
And it's been consistent throughout Attack on Titan, is that you are powerless. You're not as strong as you think you are. Even though you could go Titan, you still got bodied.
He gets beaten
Yeah.
up
Bro,
every time.
Yeah, you can be like
time.
friendship forever all you want,
So
but
it
there are some
shows-
things that just
and
does not work for.
For me, it was the
Yeah.
flip on Dragon Ball Z, the whole Gohan flip, because it was the Gohan flip that, rah, oh, you're in trouble, I really want to save you. I'm going to find something deep inside me that could overcome this tribulation. But when you see Eren, it's like, he's so frustrated about his inability to save someone or to change the situation. And I thought that's what caught it for me, man.
Yeah. No, I feel you.
I never
man.
wanted to be in that position. I feel like,
No.
in terms of writing, that's amazing.
And it's the fact that it's your mum as well. It's like, yo.
Yeah.
And it's just interesting to see how he's going to react or how the story is going to progress, knowing you've lost such a crucial... And you're thinking, where's the dad? Like, obviously, your mum's just been taken, like, these Titans. And it's a very different anime. Like I said before, like, Attack on Titan, the world building, everything is just very unique.
It's a very different world in general.
Yeah.
Like, you just... That first, like, episode with all, like, the lead up and everything, it kind of shows you, like, this world where everybody's just basically, like, depressed, hopeless, living, like, day to day behind the walls, like, stuck in this, like, rat trapping of an environment. And he seems to have, like, the perfect family, and then all of a sudden it all goes to shit, and you're like, how is this, like, coddled kid gonna cope when, like, his support system has just been burst like a juice Capra Sun?
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What do you do?
Like, literally, it's literally
What,
that
like,
real.
What's he
Yeah,
gonna do?
man.
And
I can't lie,
feel
yeah.
like it takes everyone back to like that kind of point in their life where they're
100%.
like helpless and they don't quite know if they have what it takes to like change the situation. You know what I mean?
Definitely. I feel like
So, yeah.
that was a really good hot take. Like, it was so good because people resonated with it for many different reasons. So
I even slept on the OST, bruv. The OST.
It's
Oh
like
yeah,
soundtrack.
that's
fire.
Oh my
Listen.
god.
fire, man.
They
For
don't
real.
even have to change that. They could keep
Bro.
that OST consistent
yeah.
for
Bro,
It's true.
when I heard that,
It's
I
true.
was like, bro, I didn't appreciate soundtracks
I deeped it.
until
Yeah.
Attack on Titan.
They use that OST at the most crucial moments, because I'm sure they used the
Yeah.
same one
100%,
when
man.
what's his name, Reina and Bertotto, whatever his name.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
When,
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, when they turned into, they used that and it was like.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's the same.
That's
Crazy.
What I like
Mad,
about
mad.
that part in the anime is that when you look forward to look back, you look at it in the sense that they created the notion where like, alright, cool, you thought like, spoiler in it, whatever in it, but when you look forward to look back,
Skip
you,
the next
you
2
think-
minutes.
you feel like, alright, cool, Eren's mum's been eaten. That's the worst it can get. And then when Eren gets eaten, you're like,
No,
what?
Psych.
Like mother,
Plot
like
twist.
son, like what? It's like mental.
Yeah.
And then when the Titan comes back around, and then Hennes gets eaten, and
Let them watch it, man. Let
fam.
them watch it. Let them watch it.
It's
But
crazy,
it's deep
man.
though. It's deep, guys.
That's
So
an amazing hot take, though.
yeah, man, it is. So if you guys haven't, for whatever reason, you haven't seen Attack on Titan,
Yeah, if
Therefore,
you're
hop on
living
that,
under
100%.
that like 1 ton rock and you haven't managed to somehow catch it, highly
man.
recommend.
Yeah,
highly
and obviously,
recommend,
and let us
honestly.
know your reactions to episode 1 as well, just to know if you felt the same or it resonated with you, like differently, or just even the whole Titans world is just a completely different concept to you that you fall in love with or that intrigues you, innit? So just let us know.
100%.
So, all right, let's quickly wrap up with this, yeah? Adiola, which anime character do you think you're most like, and why?
I don't even know if it's who I'm most like at the moment. I feel like, okay, who I aspire to be like, Seto Kaiba from Yu-Gi-Oh! Mainly because who does not
I've not heard
want
this
to
one
be
before.
who does not want to be rich like Bill Gates, the way this guy is. He's in high school, first of all. He's running like a multi-million yen, I don't know, he's in Japan. Let's just say multi-million dollar company at his age. He's responsible for his sibling. He's constantly bringing out like cutting edge tech. This guy's on top of his grades. He's patenting his studies. His
Right.
body's fine. He's owning houses. Like, he's doing bits. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Who doesn't want to be like that organized
So
and that
yours
driven?
is more yours is more like you want to be like him,
Yeah.
as opposed to like you are like him.
Yeah, I
So-
feel like I'm defo not on that level yet, but someday I want to be on that Harvey
Cool.
Specter
Is
level.
there
do
any
you know what I mean?
anime character that is like you as you are now, or that when you see them you proper relate to them? Like, I could be like this person.
I got one.
Maybe Killua.
Oh, shit.
What? See,
No,
Killua.
not the whole assassin thing, because man's not about like that.
That's a
I
big
mean,
part
man's
of him,
not on
though.
road like that.
Listen,
That's
but
a big
I feel
part of
like
him still.
the indecision about who you want to be, I feel
Right.
like that I high key relate
You
to,
relate to.
because you know, like when you grow up thinking that you're gonna be like a doctor, you're gonna have your life secured, and then like things get in the way, or you burst like out of the bubble where you've grown up and you've had all of this told to you, and like you start making decisions on your own and you get confused, you have to find out what you want, and you have to go
That's
through
real.
that whole period of like self-discovery. I feel like for Killua, that I can relate to that, like high key. So maybe not the mad assassin skills, as fun as that would be, but like the indecision and like the having to find yourself. Yeah, I high key.
Nah,
relate
that's
to
real.
that.
I've never heard someone make that connection before. Still, it makes so much sense.
Just a quick kind of tangent. Was that kind of all of that personality thing due to the needle in his head, or was that just the way he was brought up? Or was the needle in his head, was that just for fear of a fight of someone stronger than you, or was that to kind of control him in the sense of?
No, that was. I believe that was literally just for a fear.
Oh,
And I feel like it's even deep and twisted in a sense where Illumi loves him, like genuinely loves
Yeah,
his
he loves
brother.
him. He
Like,
doesn't want him to
want him to
die.
fight someone mad strong.
Oh,
Do you know what I
right.
mean? So that's why I put the needle in.
Yeah.
But then it comes across as you're trying to control him and
Yeah.
manipulate him.
Yeah.
So it's quite deep. Do you know what I mean?
No, I always felt like Killua had that fear in him anyway.
Yeah, he had it.
He
in
wasn't.
him anyway.
He wasn't whole-hearted. Killua wouldn't fight anyone, bro.
When he takes out that needle, he's slightly a different person.
Bro,
still.
but no, but deep.
He
He
is,
was
but
put in
like-
a situation where he had to back his friend. Remember, because Gon was gonna
Yeah.
go kill Gon while Gon had no nen.
Yeah.
So he said to Gon, "I'll protect you," and then he was forced in a situation where he had to. But if you're telling me Killua sees him one-on-one and they're like see each other like ready to fight, I don't think Killua was on it, bro.
With that needle in his head, he's definitely not on it.
Yeah, but even without it, I think Killua would be the ghost anyway.
No, I feel like
don't think-
they're showing us that
But
the
I
needle
thought-
played a big part
Yeah,
into
yeah.
why
Played a
he
big
was like
part.
that.
But they
It
said
did,
the
but,
needle,
like, his
no,
base
the base of the
personality as
needle was-
well.
Yeah, the base of the needle was to say run. It never
Yeah.
said don't fight. It said run. If someone's stronger than you and you
Run.
just run.
Like
Yeah.
it increased his self-preservation to the
Yeah,
point where
so-
he couldn't not obey that instinct.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
But
I
It
was
didn't
like this-
change his personality.
It's not. I know it's not the same, yeah, but it's like the only examples we've had is because that person he couldn't win against, he chose to. Do you know what I mean?
well in
the
the
flight.
in the
Maybe
hunter
it makes
exam.
him a bit more reckless and like willing to test his boundaries and all of that, but I don't think it changes his base personality. Because look at the rest of his family and the way they
you're
treated
forgetting
Alucard,
that
for
it's
example.
you saying run is your base personality. You've had that since you were a kid. That defines the things that you do as you're growing up. So I just my thoughts were, if he had a needle in his head, is it now him not being able to make those decisions, kind of maybe close to related to you, because it was controlled by, let's say, mum or dad, or who would have implanted that needle? That was my kind of thing. But again, as you're saying, the needle might just be the run thing. So
Deep
feel you.
in the hunter exam, he didn't fight. Remember how he quit first
Mm-hmm.
because he knew he couldn't beat whoever it was, and then he went on to the next.
Who? Who in the hunter exam?
Who did he?
I
Remember?
swear
remember
he didn't quit because he
He
didn't
quit.
think he
He
could
quit.
beat. He quit because he wanted to fight someone interesting.
Yeah,
not because
it was like a waste of time. Like,
yeah,
you
he
need
was
to
like,
quit.
you're
So he
not
just
even
quit.
worth it.
Yeah.
Wasn't
was
it
it?
that
Well,
I can't remember,
do
but
the one
remember
beginning
what
with
TJ
P?
said,
What's his
no?
name? Poco or something that he quit. He was just like, you're not even
Bro,
worth fighting.
in the hunter exam, the only person, yeah, that he was scared to fight was his brother Illumi.
He wasn't on it with
Hisoka,
Hisoka as well. man.
But he
Hisoka
didn't have
and
Hisoka in the
who
exam.
he was,
Yeah, but
what you
it
call
coulda
it,
came up.
transformed as.
He even thing Hanzo. He knew he couldn't beat Hanzo.
Who did he knock out Gon? Wait, he knocked out Gon to run away from someone. No.
Oh,
Killer
Killer
One
One
knocked
knocked
out
out Gon
Gon
to run away
someone.
from
Who was it?
P2 when Kite was there.
There was
Okay.
there was no needle.
There was
needle.
there.
There wasn't.
There-
Oh yeah, there was.
There
And
was, there was.
Exactly. And if that needle wasn't there, I don't know what he would have done in that situation.
Yeah.
But it's heavily implied that needle.
He's not on it.
Nah, because when the king comes around, yeah, he goes to challenge Yuppie. He goes to challenge the other thingy.
Bro.
Once
He
again,
he went
different
full
character.
Godspeed. Like,
once again, in a situation, he had no way of getting out in. Gon was already emotionally invested. If you're telling me Killer was there on his ones, he's not on it. If Gon was not involved, Killer was not on it. Be real. If Gon's not involved, Killer was not on it. I don't.
What does that mean, though?
It means like there's still that fear in him. There's still that fear in him.
Anyway, you guys,
remember
innit?
like I said, he had to do it because Gon had already gone. So like you said, remember the whole thing was that they knew in their heads they knew that Gon couldn't defeat Pitu. So then they were like, Gon's gone to die. Their whole thing was, we're gonna go die with him. Whether it was by the hands of Pitu or by the hands of the royal guards, it's still the whole sense was, we're gonna go die with him. So he still has a fear in him, like.
Just last thing, yeah.
Yeah, but
remember
he's more
when
likely to act
remember
in
Knuckle and
spite of
Shoot?
that fear.
Remember
though.
Knuckle and Shoot? They're strong, yeah, but they're not nothing big in the overall world. But bro, because of the needle, Killua was scared to fight Shoot, fam.
Yeah.
Godspeed would have wrapped him up if he was being serious.
Was he scared or was he? Bro, you have to look at it from the perspective. You don't know each other's powers, so he was precarious. And remember, he did fight. He did fight back.
Yeah.
He did, but he got slumped.
No, but the thing is, he was holding back. He didn't reveal no Godspeed against him because of the needles in his head telling him to run.
So he didn't use his lightning at all. Remember when he tried to palm him? He tried to palm him and then shoot. There was just a difference in power level.
No, but like when you have
There was a
something like
difference in
that,
power level
when
then.
you
There
have
was,
something
but he
like
didn't
that
go all out
inhibiting
either.
you,
But
you're
no,
not
but there was
gonna
a
go
difference in power level.
100%.
Godspeed. What's Shoot doing to Godspeed,
you
bro?
won't. You won't go on.
You
Bro,
won't
at
go
all.
100% if you have something like that inhibiting you
Yeah,
anyway.
but like I said, but that's the thing about Hunter x Hunter. It's about a thing where you need, like, remember when Gon got knocked out and then Killua carried him to the tree and they waited there till Nov and whoever, and he said, when you don't know someone's ability in a fight, it's too hard to judge. So he's not gonna attack.
But you know that's both ways. He don't know your abilities either.
Exactly.
That's how Nen is.
But obviously, who's more confident going into that?
With the needle in his head, of course he's not confident.
You guys think that
right.
needle watch? He's gonna you're gonna see it again.
Cool.
Yeah,
We need to rewatch that, and
Word.
we need to. I should not even rewatch it. We need you guys on the TL or whatever platforms you're on. Let us know what you think about Killua, whether or not the fear factor made an impact on his personality. Might even do a poll if we get to.
Yeah, we could run that still.
We
We could run that.
So
And just let us know, innit? But yeah, that wraps up another episode.
Yeah, man.
The second episode of the AniMates podcast.
Hey, does it?
So thanks so much for tuning in.
I
And
like this episode, man.
word, if you want more, you know where to find us. You know where the socials are. And yeah, we'll be back again.
Got any
Peace.
plugs? We got any plugs? No
Yeah,
plug?
go on. Plugs.
Find
Adiola, where can they find you?
I'll be about running the Twitter account. You can also find me on my own. I've also got a little website, so there may be some articles popping up related to the podcast this week, you know. So check me out on there, themodernalchemist.com. You'll see it under all of the links on the Twitter page and on the SoundCloud. So yeah.
Perfect. Go follow, go support. And thanks for listening.
Take care.
Peace.
See you.
Please follow our socials. Our Twitter account is @animates_. The Instagram account is AnimatesTV. And if you just go to those pages, it'll direct you to the Facebook page, the SoundCloud, the Spotify, and the iTunes. So whichever platform is convenient for you, just go straight there and listen to it. And also, if I could just ask you for one more favor, if you could just go over to iTunes and just rate the podcast. It takes literally only 30 seconds, but what it does, it helps get the podcast in front of more anime people who are anime heads like yourselves to increase anime discussions and grow the community. Thanks in advance for doing that. Tune in next time.